Hello, my name is Robert. He's Jason, and this is Culture Wars, very much a core component of this program. And this next story kind of brings us to the heart of it. Ownership, fans, who are the most important people in this soccer world? And the question goes to, is the Major League Soccer model, the franchise model, the single entity model, good for soccer fans? Or is it just good for the ownerships? And this comes to the top of mind again, as Major League Soccer has recorded 5 of the top 20 teams in valuations and 19 of the top 50 most valuable soccer clubs in the world, according to last week's Sportico Soccer Valuations report. And, that's a follow-up question to that is, should fans care about their club's valuations? Is anyone patting their chest, fist pumping, is like, yes, top 20 evaluated team. All right.
Other tifos being imagined right
18,
now.
18. And then has a reading of the bank account at the bottom. Like, look at that.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the thing about this. It's so odd. I mean, I think it's sort of natural if you are an American soccer fan. All right, let's say, let's specifically say an MLS fan, because obviously there are lots of American soccer fans who are not MLS fans or who actively root against MLS in the big picture sense. But if you are an MLS fan and you have been on this ride, which, goes back to just 1996, I know for some people that feels like a long time ago. I was in high school at the time, so it does feel like a long time ago. But in the big picture, it's not, right? Obviously, compared to Real Madrid, Manchester United, FC Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, MLS teams don't have history like that. So when you are an American soccer fan and everything feels like a fight for respect, when you see that MLS teams, and there's the very first one, Los Angeles FC, $1.28 billion valuation according to Sportico.
Oh, boy.
When you see that number, you might go, oh, that's awesome. Look at how far we've come, Rob. Look at how far Major League Soccer has grown, how much it's grown in the past 30-something years. Now we have clubs that are right there next to Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus, Dortmund. This is incredible. This must mean that MLS is a success. I mean, again, I think I understand the natural inclination. But of course, if you just kind of uncover this, if you dig a little deeper, I guess, or if you kind of look a little closer to at this, first of all, notice, and I'll go back
to those revenue numbers. There's quite a there, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, Chelsea is number 10 with $590 million of revenue last year. LAFC is number 16 with $142 million in revenue. And the drop from Inter to LAFC, who are separated by one place, and $0.02 billion. Is that what I got there? $0.02 billion difference?
Yeah.
What is that in actual, without saying bill? I don't know. Their revenue difference is massive. Massive. So what's behind these valuations? Well, it doesn't take a genius to understand that what's behind these valuations is single entity. What's behind these valuations is a lack of promotion or relegation. What's behind these valuations is also a clear interest on the part of very wealthy individuals to be involved in soccer and choosing to invest in MLS. Now, it's possible that the landscape changes here. Now, look, there's been plenty of American investment in other leagues. In fact, you look at the top of the list. How many of these clubs have American investors, Rob? Lots of them do.
At least. Okay, so Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal,
all of the English ones for the most part, except for maybe Spurs. Chelsea now, yeah, as you said. Arsenal, Manchester City, no, but okay, Liverpool, yes. Manchester United, yes. Right, the English club. There's American investment in foreign clubs, but what I'm saying is, as you've watched MLS become this sort of prestige property, is that the way to describe it? It's sort of like, okay, so I'm gonna sound very pretentious here, but for a minute, it's like I went on vacation in Napa Valley with my wife.
Oh,
for a week, and you notice something. There's lots of people who are buying wineries just because they want to own a winery. Is it a good business, that winery? Are they going to make a bunch of money on that winery? Or do they just want to be able to say, I own a winery, or 2, or 3, or 5? That's kind of what MLS is. Lots of these people are invested. Maybe they want to make money, but they want to make money in the sense that the more people that invest in this and prop each other up, the greater the value of the club. That's where you're going to ultimately make your money, not in terms of revenue. You're not making a profit year over year. What you're doing is saying that, oh, this is like my house. Like, I'm putting money into my house every year. I'm not making a profit on my house, Rob. I pay my mortgage. I have to pay upkeep. You know how this goes.
Oh yeah.
You just had your HVAC system replaced not that long ago. I remember you telling me that. That's not you're not going to see a return on that money until you sell your house, right?
If ever.
If ever, right? And that's kind of where we are with MLS. So I guess again, I'm curious. Like, should MLS fans care about these numbers?
Yeah, let me reframe that. It's like, okay, so what is the benefit to the American soccer fan that teams 16 through 20 on the valuation list are Major League Soccer teams, and there's viewers that are fans of those teams here. So I guess the easy step one answer is like, okay, so if there's money in there, the sustainability, if we're bringing in $148 million of revenue a year, hopefully that means we're not going to just go bankrupt and be gone next year. But with the larger picture of competitive balance and all those other factors, like why would this make, I guess you said you kind of painted out the respect factor being on any list of positive, I guess is something to hold on to.
And that's such a small thing.
But anything outside of possibly this reflecting a sustainability, how is this good for a fan?
Yeah, I mean, so this is also kind of points to that line between being a booster of soccer in America and therefore a fan of MLS as a whole, and being a fan of a specific club and only caring about that club's fortunes. Now, we're only just now in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe, getting to a place where you can take your team's existence for granted, Rob, right? So if you're an MLS fan, if you were an MLS fan for the first 15 or 20 years of the league, an undercurrent of your fandom was, will my team exist next year? And will my club, or not just my club, will my league exist next year, right? Because there was always this question of, oh, MLS is this teetering, tottering kind of business that could go up in smoke at any moment, right? Now we're not in that place. I think it's pretty clear MLS isn't going anywhere. Is it growing? Is it growing the right ways? Is it, doing the right stuff? Those are different questions, right? Is MLS season pass the right move for MLS, et cetera, right? I shout out to my friend Mark Fishkin, who covers the New York Red Bulls on the Seeing Red podcast and been doing it for a very long time. It's not his main job, but he does it because he loves the club. He was just pointing out that for this New York Red Bulls LA Galaxy match, a rematch of the MLS Cup final, that in the pregame press conference, there were 0 mainstream outlets, 0 legitimate sort of big time outlets in the New York area covering that game. 0. Right. It was the long time, I believe Michael Lewis. I think he said Michael Lewis is there, New York based, longtime soccer journalist in America, and himself. I believe that was it. All right. So
yeah, I listened in the car. I listened to the pregame coverage of New York Red Bulls versus LA Galaxy, and the subject matter was bleak, and you could tell that they were stretching. It's like two teams that are unimpressive, trying to figure out some way to tell the game.
That's obviously a part of the storyline for what Mark was pointing at. But I just think it does indicate there's not a lot of sort of mainstream interest. So this is a niche investment. And then you see these numbers and you go, oh, okay, well, it's a niche investment, but they're what does this mean for you if you're a fan? And I'm going to throw up again our member Mike Thomas's comment. The valuations just make me angry at the cheap owners that are just along for the ride. Right? The idea being that these valuations point to your investment is actually doing really well. Why aren't you spending more money to make your team more competitive, to do better? DC United is number 36 on this list. That is an insane thing.
Yes.
That is insane, Rob. Considering how bad they are right now, how poor they've been in terms of building interest. I live in the DC metropolitan area. DC United has deeper history than any MLS team outside of LA in terms of the Galaxy, and they barely matter here, right? They barely matter here.
Do they make the 10 o'clock news highlights or anything?
I don't watch the 10 o'clock news because I'm a modern person and who watches regular TV anymore, Rob. But
that's a barometer of if the local media cares, I guess.
No, it is. But I don't see DC United stickers and license plates and the various accoutrements that people display when they're out and about in the world. I don't see a lot of that. Right? Again, DC United exists as sort of this memory, this echo of like, oh yeah, we had a soccer team. Now, I think it's hard when you were an MLS 1.0 team to matter in 2025 in a real way, the way that some of these newer teams can kind of impact the market in a big way and hit social media and all that stuff.
That's a
That's
good
harder
point
for the
because a
old
lot of
teams.
those top evaluated teams are newer than the prestige ones.
Yes. There's not a lot of MLS 1.0 teams. The Columbus Crew they have a brand new stadium. By the way, DC Stadium is a part of this too, right? That's why they're valued at what they are, because stadiums matter for that. Austin is there. That's a newer team. Seattle is there. They don't have their own building, but they're just a bigger presence. I mean, again, what does this mean for MLS in the big picture sense? I think I don't think you should be mad at it. Like, I don't think you should be angry that MLS teams are here, because ultimately it doesn't really matter all that much. You can just be like, well, it'd be nice if these numbers reflected some other standing in world football that lined them up more closely to the other clubs on this list. Like again, even the English clubs like Bournemouth and Brentford and Palace, we know why they're there, right?
TV money.
TV money is why they're there, right? So you can kind of, again, pick apart. So it's because there's this distinct difference in sort of why these teams are on this list that I think it kind of robs it of any real value.
Yeah, would you rather have your team on this list, or would you rather have your coach uncomfortable after losing the opening 12 games of your season? I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a juxtaposition there. But that is Culture Wars for us on Monday. And if you hadn't hit subscribe yet, you don't want to get more of this, hit the subscribe button now. No effort, doesn't get you spam. You just help this channel expand. One step farther, become a member. When you become a member, you get early access to videos, you get bonus content, and there is some bonus content waiting in the wings on the channel. And then priority access to commenting, and a whole lot more emoji stickers and all that YouTube stuff. You can also follow along on social media at Kickaround, X, Instagram, Blue Sky. That doesn't charge you a thing. And then you can also write us an email, morningkickaround@gmail.com. And if you like podcasts, we are also a podcast. You can search for us on your favorite podcast platform just by searching Morning Kickaround.